Okay, let's call the regular meeting for the City Council of the City of Perry, June 19th, 2023 to order. Roll call, please.
Goldar.
Here.
Bond.
Here.
Williams.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Coffee.
Here.
White.
Here.
Marshall. Here. Davis. Here. Wortham.
Here. All right, I declare a quorum. And so we'll begin tonight with an invocation by Reverend Ron Fike.
Thank you, Lawrence, and I just want to begin by thanking you all for your service to our community. Let's pray. Our gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for these good folks who give their time, their talent, their energy, their imagination, and their love to our community. We pray you'd fill them with wisdom and knowledge and understanding as they seek to lead and guide us in our community toward a wonderful future. So we thank you for all that you're doing in their lives and the life of our community. Pray your blessing upon them and upon this community that we love and that you love. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. And Ron, before you go, I'd like to invite you to tell us which church and congregation you represent and a little bit about what you guys got going on and
Okay.
how things are going.
Yeah, thank you. It's going great. I've been here a little over 2 years. Wonderful, wonderful congregation. And so it's the Presbyterian Church. And my wife Anita over here. So I've been here a little over 2 years. She's been here a year. Our daughter was a senior when we got married, and so she had a year of high school left, so she's just joined us, but she's our music director, and so she leads our choir and our bell choir, so we have bell choir practice through this summer, and we'll plan on August 6th for the congregation. Who knows Sherry Schiffer? Everybody knows Sherry Schiffer, Wally and Sherry. So Sherry's our Christian Ed director, and next week she'll lead our kids camps. We have a kindergarten through third grade camp and a fourth through sixth grade camp, and Sherry's marvelous, just a blessing. And then so that's this month in July. We have our deacons, they'll serve in the soup kitchen. And the end of the month, then we have our big back to school blowout. So we'll have a hymn sing during the worship service, then a big potluck and games and a big festive time to celebrate going back to school. And then our big summer project is our deacons. They do the backpack blessings program, so it's pretty well known in the community. We expect to give away around 200 backpacks to the students this year. So there's a lot of work that goes into that, and but what a blessing it is. So good folks doing a lot of good stuff. So that's what's going on the next couple months.
Good deal for the backpacks. Do you guys take donations?
Oh yes,
Okay.
if people want to give donations, we did get a wonderful donation from the United Fund, so God bless them. We appreciate it. It'll be put to good use. But yeah, we'll take any donations that people want to give, add to it. So
Awesome.
yeah,
Donations come to the church, or?
yep, you can give them to the church. Yep, bring them to the church, and we'll get them to the right place.
Good deal. What kind of items do you guys?
All the school supplies.
School supplies.
Get the backpack, school supplies. So anything people want to donate school related, we'll collect them and then put them out for the kids. They get to go shopping, and they get to pick their own stuff. They like that.
Nice.
Deacons have found out that's a good way for them to do it. So
Good deal.
thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
you.
you bet. Blessings to y'all.
Okay. Let's move right along. We've got a big agenda tonight. So we'll start with item number 1, the consent agenda. Take a look at that. We have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Okay. Okay, we have motion and second. Roll call, please.
Goldar.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes. Thank you very much. So with that, then Ronnie, if you guys need to dip out, you can. If you want to stick around for the whole meeting, you're more than welcome to.
We're
I was
just going to observe a little bit.
Okay, yep, I was just going to warn you, we might be here for a while
I
tonight.
appreciate it. You probably will slip out, so thank you for that.
Oh yeah, not a problem.
Yep.
Okay, let's go down to item number 4. Citizens desiring to be heard. So the public is welcome to address the governing body to provide information on community events, accomplishments, or speak on any matter placed on the agenda or non-agenda. Seeing as we have no one from the community, I'm guessing there is none. So with that, we'll move on to item number 5. Proclamations, commendations, reports, and inquiries by the governing body.
I would like to say one of our citizens called me yesterday and said during the storm his neighbor's tree fell over and knocked out his privacy fence and down his electricity. He said a couple of men came out about midnight and worked at 4 o'clock in the morning, cutting up the tree and restoring his electricity. And he said it would have been one thing and that it had been the whole community and where he lived, but it was just his home. But he was so appreciative, and he didn't get their names, but he said the elderly gentleman called the younger gentleman Junior. So I don't know who went out and worked, but he was so appreciative of it. And he called me at 11:30 the night before to find out who to call, and I was trying to find the service number, but I don't know who he ended up calling, but he got help.
Oh, good.
So that was good, and I want to commend them too.
I believe our electric department and street department went out, our electric department and street department went out.
Electric industry.
Yeah.
Great.
Very
Great.
definitely. It was a big tree.
Huh?
It was a big tree.
Well, it sounded like it. He said they were going, the saws were going all night nearly.
Yeah.
Good. Anything else to bring forward? Seeing none. Thank you, Gloria, for that. Item number 6, receive Main Street Perry quarterly report from Executive Director Laura Volmar. So Laura, what you got for us?
Thank you. I had a lot that I shared with you guys. I'm not going to go over every single one of them unless you'd like me to, but we are happy to bring our quarterly report to you guys, and we thank you for your partnership. We had highlighted we're still in the process of highlighting all our partners, but you guys were recognized as one of our platinum partners for this year, and we are very grateful for your partnership. We had received a huge grant last year, and I do feel like that we were able to make an impact on our downtown, and it grew our partnerships tremendously. I couldn't believe the amount of people that were willing to give money and donate, and I think it was just because of the impact of our grant that we were able to show more, that we were able to receive more partnerships. And so those are highlighted on our website if anybody is interested and wants to go see more of that. We were able to receive one Oklahoma Main Street award at the Oklahoma Main Street Banquet, and we felt very honored by the amount of people that came. They said Perry had the most tables, we had the most representation, and we were recognized for 6 different awards, but we were just so excited to win one because it's been a very long time since Main Street's been recognized at the Oklahoma state level. Our Main Street Golf Tournament was a huge success. That's our only big fundraiser that we do throughout the whole year, and we had more teams this year than we had in the past. We also had a big sponsor that sponsored the whole tournament, so we were able to bring in all of the money that from the teams was brought back to Main Street. Our next 3 events coming up are our Summerfest, our Meet a Maroon Night, and our Cruise in Oklahoma. We are also throwing in our awards banquet with our Summerfest, and so we are going to recognize, I think it's 13 different awards in our event that we are holding downtown. A part of our event is also part of our grant that we received from the Malzahn Foundation, so there'll be a lot going on. A lot of vendors have signed up, a lot more than I had expected, so there'll be quite a lot going on with that, and that is this Thursday. It'll start at 5 o'clock. We will have vendors, we will have water slides, a foam party, and then our awards will start at 6:30, so we invite everyone to come down for that. Our next event will be the Meet a Maroon on August 3rd, and this is a very hot night. It always seems like it's 105 that night, but it's always very well attended, and it's fun to kick off the new year. And Cruise in Oklahoma is coming back in the late August, and that was another event that just packed the downtown, and everybody seemed to really enjoy that. Our preservation and beautification projects, a part of our facade grant, we have been able to give out multiple grants, and there's multiple businesses that are having construction and new things going on, and we are very grateful for that because we feel like that is one thing that is a part of Main Street, is that we can keep those buildings being maintained, and so we're able to help offset some of the costs on the front of the buildings. And so I listed those, as you can see. In order to stay accredited between the National Main Street Program and the Oklahoma Main Street Program, as a director, I'm required to attend certain directors' conferences. So we were all in Boston back in, I think it was March, and then just this 2 weeks ago, I attended a director's conference in Sapulpa. And lots of different things that I attended were things that we can put back into our community, and they were very informative. I'm still in the process of getting Perry on the Oklahoma music and film as a film-friendly community. I jumped into it really excited, and it's a lot of work. And so I've had to partner with somebody to take pictures, because they want, if you pick 10 different places in your downtown, they want current photos of what it looks like now. And I was just thinking, oh, I can just pull some pictures together, but is this a little bit more work than I thought? And so I attended a conference that kind of helped a little bit on that. There was a lot of different things. The one that impacted me the most was the CLG, and I don't know if you guys are very familiar with what a CLG is, but it's a partnership between the State Historic Preservation Office and the National Park Service for local governments to identify, evaluate, and protect buildings, structures, districts, sites, and objects that are significant to the nation's history. And our downtown is on the National Registry for the historic districts. And we also have historic buildings that are also not in the Main Street District, but are downtown. This is a part of the National Historic Preservation Act of 1966, and there's only 12 cities in Oklahoma that are currently a part of this program, and there is funding available. I think it's more of a match funding. If you have funding, they'll give you a certain percentage, but they said they have not had any new cities apply to be a CLG in many years. Every year they give out this money, and if you have, I think it's like a certain percentage, if you have that percentage, they'll give it to you. A lot of cities have been turning it down, so then it goes to the cities that are accepting it. So currently Oklahoma City, Norman, and Ponca, and Tulsa, I think, are the cities that are receiving like the biggest amounts. This is, it's a form of at least 2 members that have preservation-related experience, and if you meet all the qualifications and have that, they'll accept you into their program. The funds that they give you can be used for multiple things, such as surveys, historic places, to nominate them, kids' activity books, historic preservation workshops, speakers, anything that relates to historic preservation. But why I feel like it is so important is it will allow our city to put ordinances on the buildings that are downtown. So we would be able to say, if somebody has a historic building and they want to do something to it, or they want to take something off of the front or do something, we will be able to say, no, you can't do that, because that goes against this. So that is why it's important for Main Streets to bring those to our communities, because right now we don't have anything other than saying, we really don't want you to take, something historic off of your building. We don't have a way to enforce that. We just politely ask, that's very historic, we would really like you not to do that. So that is a little bit of the CLG, and I would like to partner more and get that in our community, but it is a little bit of work. I am in the final steps of the Timeframe app, which, for those of you that maybe weren't here when I was here before, if you go to timeframetours.com, we are now going to be a spot where you will be able to walk around downtown and see historic pictures in 10 different places around the square. So say if you are standing in front of the courthouse in the GPS located spot, you will be able to look at old historic pictures of the courthouse, of what it looked like for many years. And then we'll have a little bit of narration, so that'll give you a little bit of history for people that want to hear it. And it'll be free, and it'll be all on your phone. And so currently we have, I think we maybe have 15 stops, but at certain stops you'll be able to look in different directions, so you won't be stuck like on one spot. We're hopeful that will be up definitely by the celebration. It could be up before then. So we haven't really posted anything or shared big details, just because we're still in the process of it. We also have received 2 new signs, and I realized I think we need to purchase 2 more, but they are signs that will be put up on each side of the entrance into Perry that say, visit our historic downtown. I don't know if anybody's recognized them. I thought we only had 2. They only give us 2, but I think we have 4. We maybe have 5. And so I have 2 of them, and so they will go up, and they'll be bright, and they'll have the new Oklahoma Main Street logo, so hopefully it'll catch people's attention. And lastly, I just wanted to go through our list of board members and our volunteer hours. We have added 2 new board members. Garrett Johns and Christy Conrad has generously decided to give their time to Main Street. And since January, we have had a total of 265 volunteer hours that have been recorded through our board members and volunteers that have helped through downtown projects. Do you guys have any questions?
Certainly appreciate your efforts. I think that since you've been here, that we've made great strides. You've made great strides for our community. So we thank you and your volunteers and your board for all their hard work. Because we know that you don't do it by yourself.
No,
but,
I do not.
But you are the leader. So we appreciate everything you've done.
Thank you. Okay.
Awesome, thank you, Lauren.
Yes.
I'd like to say it makes me really proud to see some of the kids I've watched grow up in school, step in place and become leaders in the community. It makes my heart very proud.
Thank you.
All right, let's continue on to item number 7. Consider resolution number 2023-06.
Laura, would you like to stay just a minute, please?
Yeah, please do. Supporting participation of the Main Street Perry program for fiscal year ending 2024. So, pull that up here. So it's resolution number 2023-06, a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Perry, Oklahoma, supporting participation in the fiscal year 2023-2024 Oklahoma Main Street program. Whereas the Oklahoma Main Street program has been established in the Oklahoma Department of Commerce to assist small towns and cities to develop a public-private effort to revitalize their Main Street areas, and whereas the city of Perry desires to continue participating in the Oklahoma Main Street program, now therefore be it resolved by the City of Council of the City of Perry. Section 1, the City of Perry supports the participation of the 2023-2024 Oklahoma Main Street program with the specific goal of revitalizing the central business district using the Main Street 4-point approach to economic revitalization. In Section 2, the City of Perry understands that the Main Street approach is a long-term process that results in a continual effort to maintain and enhance downtown. Adopted this 19th day of June 2023. So yes, this resolution is that we want to continue to support the Main Street program and continue that partnership with you guys. So if there's anything you need, we're here for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And so we do have a recommendation to approve that
So moved.
resolution.
Second.
All right, we have Derek and then Kevin and Gloria are fighting over the second. So with that, let's have a roll call for that.
Goldar.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes. All right, thank you. Go on to item number 8, consider approval of payment from Craftsman for rubber safety surfacing for the new playground at Lions Park in the amount of $53,541.
As the narrative says, this is for the new playground park down at Lions Park. This is a pass-through for us, and this is for the improvement to pay for that, this invoice that we have here. You have a copy of the check and a copy of the invoice.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Ready for roll call?
Goldar.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes. Thank you. So moving on to item number 9, consider approval of from HFG Architecture for professional services regarding the SMC Perry renovation project in the amount of $121,693.14.
Council, we've completed the schematic design phase, and we're now into the design development, picking knobs and color of cabinets and other things that are sort of boring for us. But it's very important that we do this and continue that so that we can tick that off as well. Current invoice from HFG is for $121,693.14. Any questions you may have? Entertain a motion. Thank you.
Let's see, it's coming from reserves. Are we not doing it through the tax at all? Or are we able to do that yet?
Sorry, I didn't see the narrative on this.
No,
Not yet?
no, we're not yet. Although,
This will probably be one giant transfer from reserves into the other.
yes, from that escrow account, but not yet. Nothing has changed since the last time we discussed this.
All right.
What has changed is we're moving them along faster. And there've been a series of meetings about that, and of the general contractor, we've moved the dates up. July 10th and August 10th instead of August 1st and August 31st. So we're hopeful that by August 10th, we're going to have our maximum guaranteed price and be able to quickly thereafter provide for the financing.
Any other questions with that?
Motion to approve payment to HFG Architecture.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Goldar.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Marshall. Yes. Davis.
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes. Thank you. So with item 10, we're going to push that to the next council meeting. Brian submitted the site plan checklist, but it was the old one, and so we need to get the new one so that we can take a look at that. And so this item we're going to have to table to the next meeting.
Can I ask a question?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we could
Mhm.
have obviously the checklist then might completely change, but my question was that checklist strictly for Brian, or was that for the folks, coming with the site plan as well? It was
The full
some,
checklist.
huh?
It's the full checklist to meet all requirements.
Sure. I just, some of the wording, again, checklist might change, so it might not be valid, but some of the wording, a person coming with a site plan may not understand how that check item,
Right.
that specific item was worded, so
Mhm.
may change if the checklist is different. But
It did seem like some of them were check if this is true or check if it's false,
Right.
and it wasn't clear if it meant
Right.
this is a good thing that's on there or a bad thing, so.
Mhm. Yeah, Brian couldn't be here today because he left while I was over at City Hall because he wasn't feeling well.
So did you say we need a motion to?
To table it, do we need a motion for that? Okay,
Motion to table?
okay.
Second.
We have a lot of seconds.
A lot of them.
Take your pick.
Rory, you won that one.
All right. Roll call, please.
Goldar.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes. Okay, so now we're going to move on to item number 11, discussion and approval of the following budget items. Budget amendments for fiscal year 2023 and presentation of the May 2023 financial statements.
Okay.
Go for it.
All right, you get me today, because Russ is in Oregon, throwing with his youngest. I think they're on a plane now, but she was at nationals this weekend. Went pretty well. So you've got budget amendments in front of you. Sorry they got to you late, it's my fault. But the numbers are good. So general fund itself, a net increase in the bottom line based upon the amendments of a little over $400,000. These are all items that you've seen before, but we've accumulated them from the last 11 months to show them just in the fourth quarter itself. Tax revenue, franchise use and sales tax increasing a little over $280,000 based upon actual collections. Our royalties had a significant increase, over $300,000. We got the donation for the pickleball court. We have the CDBG for the fire department and the ARPA funds. Interest income, $150,000. That's a major increase in interest income for the period. Donation for the parks and some ballpark revenue year to date. So total revenues, $1.9 million. Expenses correspondingly increased $1.3 million. You'll see general government about $689,000 based upon the hospital improvements, drainage, the pickleball court, some new cameras that we hadn't originally budgeted, capital outlay out at the parks for the playground equipment, which was paid for by the donation, and a tractor. Economic development had some electrical improvements. Police department had 2 vehicles, and then the fire department with their remaining portion of the fire truck and air packs. So that's kind of the general fund. Paramunicipal authority. Do you want these now? I'm gonna go over them now just because we're talking about it.
Sure.
Increase of $380,000. It's really your net income that you've earned off of electricity. When you look at the numbers themselves, you'll see that they look pretty hefty, but our electricity is up $1.2 million, almost $1.3 million. Correspondingly, our OMPA bill was also up significantly, almost $900,000. That gives us the 32% margin that we've budgeted. It's consistent between what we originally budgeted and what we're actually getting now, so that's nice. And then we had the OWRB grant revenue that came in the related water project. So that increase of $380,000 is basically just our profit margin on electric from our additional sales. Derek with the stink eye always. That's better, thank you. Thank you for the smile.
Questions or looks, I'm always getting called out.
It's the first time I've done it publicly.
So this is for the fourth quarter. Do we have any large expenses that come in at the end of the year?
When I go through and look at these, that's the reason I wait till the very last minute.
Gotcha.
So when I pulled information today, I looked through June 15th was about the last time we had good invoices in. So I
Okay.
made sure that we've got everything covered. There's a little bit of wiggle room for the last 15 days in case
Okay.
a water line blows up.
Right, but there's no like expected big invoices that come in at the end of the year or anything like that?
No, most of our payments are quarterly, as far as those large ones.
Any questions with that? I'll give everybody a minute, keep looking through it if you want, since we just got this.
What questions can I answer?
On the May income, the 1% sales tax year to date is 686,743. But the sales tax for the hospital is 681,500. And should
You're-
they not
you're
be
on-
the same?
You're on May
The
financials?
May financials. They not be the same. I had mentioned that to Russ a while back. Is there a monthly limit of how much the 1% to the hospital?
Yep,
Is there
it should
no
be.
up?
The difference could be, when we, in our ambulance, we get county tax, right? So there could be that sales tax and a portion of that county tax is included in that number, and we haven't reclassed that down to the other tax line when we were presenting the financials. So that could be the difference, but I will look into it.
Because it's $5,243
Yeah,
less.
about 5,000 off, yep. Yep, I imagine it's probably something like that, or some return of interest, possibly, that's hitting the general fund only. So like when we pay our sales tax on electricity, if we pay on time, we usually get a discount.
get a
in that.
discount, that's
Yep.
right, that's
And so
right.
that could be allocated up there in that sales tax as far as a return of that money. But I'm happy to look into it. So I think we want to approve the budget amendments before we go through the monthly financials. So questions on those amendments? These are things that you all have already approved. You've seen them come through. It's as I said, the culmination of what's happened this fiscal year to amend our budget to reflect those expenses and revenues. This ensures our compliance with the Municipal Budget Act. That's something that's assessed when we get our annual audit. If we are not in compliance, that is written up as a finding on our audit. So we do this simply as a housekeeping matter. As you all know, the budget's an estimate when we start the fiscal year. So this is shoring up what actually happened to the estimate that we derived back in May of 2022.
Motion to approve the budget amendments for fiscal year 2023 as listed.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the amendments. Roll call, please.
Kohlheim,
Yes.
Bond,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes. Okay, so now the amendments are there. Let's talk about the May 2023 financial statements.
Yep, so you've got May 23, 11 months, we're almost to the end. Total cash delivered $13 million, we're up about 3% from last month, and that's all attributable to net revenues in PMA. When you look on page 3 itself, you'll see a healthy margin, specifically in our electric revenues. We just kind of talked through that as far as budget amendments themselves. Electric revenues at 104% of budget. Electric expenses, when you reduce that from the cost of electric, which is at 106%, they're spending fine on their operations. It is actually our OMPA bill, which is what we just talked about in the amendments, that's driving the cost. As people use more, we buy more, we bill it out. And you saw in our utility, or in our budget amendments, that it's the same margin. We are actually making what we pull out, so that's good. So that's the increase in cash. Sorry, I jumped ahead. Questions on cash? Okay, I'm flipping to the general fund itself. What I found interesting in May for the Perry General Fund is when we look at sales tax and use tax in the city of Perry, you all have a consistent split, about 80% sales tax, 20% use tax, right? Most local businesses like that. They like that people are buying local, and the 20% is coming from what we order online or anything otherwise. In May, you actually had an 87% to 13% sales tax. So a 7% more walk-around traffic. People in the city were buying local as opposed to buying online. I thought that was interesting. So this, when your May deposit reflects what's happened in March. So I think as the weather started getting good, and maybe with some spring break travel coming in through here, people, or our local businesses got to see that improvement, which was nice. I thought that was interesting in the month of May. Everything else in May looks good. I will just mention again, because it's so fantastic, $150,000 of additional interest income that we're seeing. That creates a nice boost for the bottom line. Questions on general fund? Okay, and the municipal authority itself. Big things that happened in May are the $1.5 million OWRB loan and related project expenses. We paid for payout 4 and 5, which is about $412,000. Transferred out a little over $2.3 million for a net income of over $900,000 for 11 months. We should end pretty good.
Any questions or discussion about May's financials?
Make a motion, we approve the May 2023 financial statement.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Goldar.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes. Thank you. And now we'll move on to item number 12. Discussion of the fiscal year 2023-2024 budget and consider approval of resolution number 2023-05 of the City Council of the City of Perry, Oklahoma, adopting and approving its fiscal year 2023-2024 budget and other budgets and appropriating the revenues for the state purposes as contained in the budgets. As we get started with that, I'd actually like to turn some time over to Derek.
Thank you. I've been toiling over this. I asked Lawrence to give me a little time. We've been talking a lot about, well, we've been having several good planning sessions, and I think we're moving in a good direction. And the idea of passing operational budget to facilitate our operations and give us a little bit of time to continue that planning and hopefully come out with some solutions and answers on the other side, and hopefully in a short period of time. I've just really been struggling with making some decisions now, whether it's the 5.2% or open positions, and wondering if we shouldn't put those on hold for now until we can finish our planning. And, you know, I do think the 4% for the employees is something we should keep in there. I would like to see it be a merit-based incentive this year, something that council has been asking for a while. I guess with that being said, I personally, if you let me, like to make a motion that we approve this budget minus the 5.2% and put all hiring on hold, at least allowing us to review those and give us time to figure out the budget going forward with our planning and our strategic planning going forward.
So with that, thoughts or discussion?
Was that the
Council?
motion?
That was my
Yeah, that's the
motion.
motion, yeah.
I'll second that.
You'll second that? Even with that, any other discussion on that? Thoughts? Things you guys want to throw in?
Well, I guess the only point would be, since you don't have that rate increase, so, but you haven't changed anything else, that amount of money will be taken from the reserve. And And so the budget will be changed, that reserve number will go down $680,000.
$80,000.
And so that's what you're voting on. That's what the budget will then look like
Yes.
with that change. And probably everybody knew that, but that bears stating,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
With the 5.2, that puts us at operating in a positive, but taking out the 5.2, that will put us in a slight deficit. Not much. The budget prior to this one was a much larger deficit, so we're still fiscally doing better than the original budget that was presented. But with this 5.2 taken out, we can really look at what our city's finances look like with where we're at today. And so really that gives us time as council to dig in, really look at the budget, examine and evaluate our expenses, where we're spending, if there's overspending in places, if there's not, and really we can work towards sustainability. Again, with the budget, we can amend it as we go, so we can keep that in mind. One question I did have, so with the rate increase, we pull that off, we can still implement that later on if needed? Okay.
You will need to, Bryce, correct me, our current resolutions, rate resolutions, have an automatic CPI increase in them.
Yeah, but we won't affect that with this change. That will stop that.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it requires us to do something in order for that to happen, and this action here has stated that, we may take a look at that ordinance. I've rewritten it since I wrote that for other communities, and what it now says is it says CPI based on the last March, or such lesser amount as approved by the budget, or is otherwise provided by resolution or ordinance. And we may want to crank that CPI ordinance out, maybe even at the next meeting, and make those changes, because it's smart to do that, because I think that would be consistent with better planning. But no, we don't have to take it in, but we will bring that back. Let's just bring that back on the 3rd.
Okay.
I think that'd be smart.
I will say too, I know departments, there's a lot of needs, there's a lot of things that need to happen, but bear with us, give us time to go through the strategic planning, and hopefully we come out with some good direction that starts providing that.
Part of our goals as the council is, as we're developing the strategic planning, we're going to start inviting the department heads to come in and participate in that, having the city manager come in and participate, and having all facets of the city being able to come in and communicate with us, and really working together as a city and as a community so that we can move forward in a better direction. But we did have a motion with that, or before we do that, any other discussion? Or thoughts?
I think that, I think I speak for a lot of us that if we were to just go ahead and implement it, if it wouldn't really be what our citizens want or need right now. I think that they've gotten used to just getting increased and getting increased and getting increased, and usually it's just on the vote. We're on the sliding scale now.
Right.
But I think we all feel like we need to be more creative and proactive towards a plan that the city and our residents and our citizens want.
Right. Especially, I know there's limited resources as to how the city makes revenues, but let's get creative and let's find ways to do it. Let's not rely solely upon utilities, but let's look for grants, let's look for resources, let's look for funding through the state, through federal aid, and find different ways, different partnerships that we can develop and build to overcome that. Again, yeah, we had a motion for that.
I have a question.
Sorry.
Where it says the budget includes salary increases of 4% for employees, is that all current employees plus other employees that have been budgeted for that we don't have hired? Or is that just for the hired employees?
It's for the
The
current employee base.
employees only. I was just trying to see if we cut back the 5.2%. I mean, how much of that 4% is not gonna be used, but it's all gonna be used, so.
If that's Gloria, did you have?
I second
Oh, okay. But yeah, so
I was already said.
Scott beat you to that one.
Well, good. Glad to see you speak up over there, boy.
Okay, with that, let's have a roll call.
Goldar.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes. All right, thank you. Let's,
Thank you, Laura.
oh, you're welcome. Yeah, thank you, Derek.
Thank you, sir.
All right, now let's blaze through our contracts here. Item number 13, discussion and approval of the annual contract supporting the Main Street area for tourism development for fiscal year 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on that?
I did want to mention that in the resolution, you talked about the Main Street's 4-point approach, and you see in this narrative here, it's design, economic vitality, promotion, and organization. So we explain those in the narrative. Thanks, sir.
And so with that, with these, these contracts that we're approving, these are partnerships that we want and that we want to continue. So I encourage you as a council to become familiar with Main Street Chamber, with these different organizations, and really developing that partnership as a council. But we had a motion and a second. Did you get both of those? Roll call for item 13.
Goldar.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes. Okay, item 14. Discussion and approval of the annual contract supporting the Perry Chamber of Commerce for tourism development for fiscal year ending 2024.
So moved.
I'd like to speak to that for just a moment. Several people talked to me about the fact that they canceled the Spring Fest, and I heard that that came from the county. I don't know whether that's true or not. But by doing that, they felt like it really harmed us because that's been an annual thing ongoing. People had already spent money locally in restaurants to feed people there, so they lost money. People that had planned, signed up to come had lost money because they had bought and prepared things and were not given enough notice. So they're fearful that next year when we try to do it, some of those people are not going to want to come back to Perry. And some people said it's because of parking on the lawn, but we had that situation once before, and they moved the cars into the street, and it worked beautifully. And then that day came up, it was the most beautiful sunshiny day. And it was just, several people just were really discouraged by that and afraid that it really hurt that chamber activity because of doing that. And I just felt like after several people talked to me, I needed to just bring it to the chamber, I meant to our council, to know that people were discouraged by that.
Well, I certainly think the chamber was disappointed. The chamber was disappointed.
Okay,
No doubt
good. See,
about
I
that.
didn't know that for sure.
But I don't think it was a county decision. I think it was a cooperative decision.
Okay.
Plus, you have to realize that the car show is a big deal. It's a big draw. And the investment that these car owners have in those cars with the potential bad weather, they didn't want to risk any damage. It's always nice to say at noon on that Saturday, that what a beautiful day, but unfortunately, we don't control the weather. So I think there was a number of different factors, but I don't think there's anybody more disappointed than the chamber.
Okay. Well, and I think the people need to hear that, Larry, because I didn't go to the chamber and talk to them about it, but, you know, it was a little disconcerting for several people.
Right.
And I understood the fact that they've spent money but that's good to know that it was a cooperative effort and that it was, you know, the reasons for
A lot of effort goes in planning those things, and of course, this is, the planning for this, that Spring Fest was nothing compared to what it usually is for Celebration.
it.
So a lot of staff time goes into that. You know, she goes out and asks for folks to be part of the vendors. And so it's not, we just don't flip the switch and everybody shows up. There's a lot of work going on.
Yeah. I know that.
So her work and the work of the volunteers and the board members, that all went to naught as well. So, like I say, so I don't think there's anybody more disappointed about that event and how that turned out than the chamber.
Okay. I've been on the chamber board and I know all the work that goes into it, but I felt like I needed to express that, and I'm glad you expressed to people the truth and what happened.
Thank you.
Okay.
But I make a motion that we support the Chamber of Commerce with support.
Okay. Good.
Second.
And a second. Roll call, please.
Goldar.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes. Thank you. All right, item 15. Discussion and approval of the annual contract supporting the Cherokee Strip Museum for tourism development for fiscal year ending 2024.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Goldar.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes. Item 16, discussion and approval of the annual contract supporting the Perry Senior Citizens Incorporated for fiscal year ending 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Seeing none. Roll call, please.
Goldar.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes. Thank you. Item 17, discussion and approval of the annual agreement supporting transportation services with Northern Oklahoma Development Authority, the Cherokee Strip Transit for fiscal year ending 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Discussion or questions with that? All right. Roll call, please.
Goldar.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes. Okay. Item 18, discussion and approval of the annual contract for consulting services with David Payne, the city planner, planning consultant for the fiscal year ending 2024.
I have a question about this.
Yes.
The planning commission didn't meet for months. And we still paid David monthly, correct? I mean, is that what it is? He gets paid $200 per month, whether or not the planning commission meets or not.
Correct. But he also does some work with staff, even though we don't meet. Some of that is preparatory. We were in a meeting this morning that he was there for a couple of hours.
I know I just wanted to,
But you are correct.
Do we have, is it a required amount of times that the planning commission meets?
No.
No? Okay, so they don't have to meet?
But they do have a regular schedule of meetings, which is once a month. But if there's no business, those meetings get canceled.
We've had nothing to plan for
in
months.
April or May, and they haven't met since October.
Oh, wow.
What do we pay for that again?
Pardon?
What do we pay for that again?
Well, it's for David paying
I don't know.
$200 a month. But that's not the only thing he does.
Right.
Right.
I know what I was doing before, as far as building houses and doing different things. I spent a lot, I mean, David was involved in a lot of the different meetings and different things that we had going on. In my opinion, the $200 a month doesn't come close to
The amount of
The
time.
work.
compensating the time that he spends
Mhm.
doing the things that he does for the city. I'm not advocating for a raise, but I'm just.
Right, right,
Sounded
Pat on the
like
back,
it.
good job.
And I will say personally, that he's my institutional knowledge here. I mean,
Right.
when I want to know what happened before Dirk came around, I asked David.
I'm sure he would appreciate it.
He does, actually. I think it's a scowl, but the institutional knowledge that he has and he brings, and he's willing to share freely, sometimes even not asked. It's priceless, it really
It
is.
is.
Are you doing anything to help capture that institutional knowledge in case he decides to retire and leave us, or?
David's not gonna retire. But no, I haven't.
It's kind of hard to do.
Just anytime he's around, have a recorder going.
Yeah.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion on that? Seeing none, let's have roll call, please.
Goldar,
Yes.
Bond,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Worthing.
Yes. All right. So item 19, discussion and approval of the intergovernmental agreement between the Noble County Sheriff's Office and the City of Perry regarding cross-jurisdictional authority. Where do you want,
Bryce?
or Bryce, you want to put
When
it
the,
in there?
yeah, when the police go outside of the corporate limits, but are on real property owned by the city, they need to have authority to take appropriate police action. And it used to be that state law provided that, it no longer does. And so you need an agreement with the county and the county sheriff's office to provide that jurisdiction. We approved this agreement last year. It was there for years with Charlie Hanger. The new sheriff and county would prefer to approve it each year, and it runs out on the 30th of this month. It needs to be in place so that the police can take appropriate action when they're on real property owned by the city but located outside the corporate limits. And there is one amendment to it. It provides that at Plant 3, they have that same jurisdiction that they would have if they were on our property. The reason for that is probably at your next meeting, as long as Ditch Witch agrees, there's going to be an agreement that you can consider that will allow the police officers at Ditch Witch's cost to work 12 hours a day, one of them, 12 hours a day out of Ditch Witch to provide safety to those employees. It'll be deemed an extra shift. Ditch Witch will pay us $45 an hour. We will pay them, the officers that take these shifts, double time. The officers haven't met yet to consider both an amendment to the collective bargaining agreement for outside employment that I've drafted, and then also the agreement between us with Ditch Witch, which they're not a party to, but they have to agree to the compensation. This is something that Ditch Witch wants to provide safety to their employees. The issue, of course, being If they're at plant number 3, that's in the county. And so it either has to be annexed into the corporate limits, or we need to have this amendment in this agreement, anticipating that you probably will approve that, or even if you don't. I mean, if they're out there on business and we have this in the agreement, the police officers are protected for taking action in the county, but at plant number 3. So that's a full explanation of what we're doing. Without having this agreement, we have an issue after June 30th. We have an issue which we don't want to allow police officers not to have jurisdiction on our property.
Matt's okay with everything that's on here.
They've already signed it.
Okay.
I think they signed it today, is that true?
I gave. It's on my desk.
Yeah, at their meeting, so we have an executed copy.
Okay, good.
No, this is just on city property, outside the city limits.
Yes, and also, but also on plant number 3, which
Okay.
is not city property.
Let's say something happens at the airport. It's 9 miles out, and we get a call, and whoever is doing whatever we got called on gets on 77, comes this way. What happens then? Can our officers stop them while they're outside of the airport?
With the mutual aid agreement.
If they have requested, if they've called the sheriff's office and requested jurisdiction and they receive a positive and approval by the sheriff or deputy on duty. So aside from this agreement, it takes a acknowledgement from the sheriff or deputy on duty, or somebody from the county to authorize it.
I thought when we talked about that last year, that if the crime or the dispute or whatever was on city property, like on the airport, initiated there and left there, it was possible to continue the chase or whatever.
Well, it may be under law. This resolution does not provide for that jurisdiction.
Okay.
We had originally written it to provide for that jurisdiction in it.
Oh,
And
I just
the
thought-
county prefers not to have that language included in there, because quite frankly, they think that we'll have rogue police officers that will ticket county residents every time they drive to the airport or to CCC
Well, I
Lake
knew
or
they
Perry
didn't
Lake.
want to do that, but I just thought if it initiated.
Well, the law is that if an incident initiates within the corporate limits and they travel outside of the corporate limits, that jurisdiction follows. You're not going to get into a problem there. But this is a straight delegation of authority, and they've given us authority on the real property that we own outside the corporate limits, and also Plant 3. It's not exactly the way we'd written it, but it's acceptable. And the police officer's gonna have to agree to call it.
If they were at the airport, our officers saw something going on, and a pursuit started happening that left the airport, they could continue the pursuit, right?
Yes, they could continue a
So
pursuit.
they could, yes,
Trying to say.
they would be able to continue that even
Yes.
despite this. Okay.
I make a motion to approve the intergovernmental agreement.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion on that? Roll call, please.
Goldar.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes. Thank you. Item number 20. Consider approval and direction of use of escrow balance in the city's escrow balance of $161,396.05 to reduce the city's workers' compensation premium.
Everything to say?
We've consistently applied our escrow premium. That's been a standard practice for us, and to reduce our quarterly cost.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. Any other discussion on that? Seeing none, roll call please.
Goldar.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes. Okay, item 21. Consider exercise of the 11th option and approve the municipal solid waste collection and disposal contract for fiscal year ending 2024 with Davis Sanitation Incorporated.
Motion to approve the option, the 11th option.
Okay.
Second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on that? Seeing none. Roll call, please.
Goldar.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes. All right. Item 22, city manager's monthly report.
Any questions on the city manager's monthly report that you have here? Before I make a few comments. Didn't have a whole lot of damage from Saturday night's weather event. Had some large trees down at Leo Park. One pretty much split right in half. For the most part, it was slim. Same thing in the cemetery. Claudia and I drove around Sunday morning. BMAC had a cover of the dugout torn off totally, and even moved a bleacher. And as heavy as they are, this wind moved the bleacher according to our Lee Harmon. But, other than that, I think we did pretty good. It's been a lot worse, so we're very thankful that it wasn't. So, any questions? Thank you, sir.
Okay. Moving along, item 23, discuss the previous strategic planning session, set additional meetings, select a planning facilitator and give direction or take whatever action as may be appropriate to implement the city council strategic planning agenda. So with that, in our last planning meeting, we put together at least somewhat of a draft of a vision statement that we have. Derek, do you have that handy on you? No? If not, I know it's in the minutes for the previous one. Hold up here real
I
quick.
only listened to it 20 times to make sure I got
Oh,
it
so you
right.
can probably just list it off for us, can you?
No, I don't.
I can get it.
Sorry.
I got it, okay. So, this is what we've come up with thus far for our vision statement. To promote safe community growth while delivering quality of life improvements with open and transparent solutions. One of the things that we felt very passionate about was for this first year is transparency and communicating to the community what our goals are, what we're doing, budget-wise, and really utilizing our website as a platform for that. Developing partnerships with the organizations, nonprofit, churches, Rotary, Lions, Chamber of Main Street, all those organizations, the Malls on Family, to really develop a community and council working together. And so with the vision statement that we've kind of put out, like, was there any other thoughts that you guys had with that? Or the planning session?
I felt that the meeting we had was very, very productive. I mean, mainly because if you get into our regular council sessions, I mean, it's, you know, here's the item on the agenda, vote yes or no, go on to the next item, vote yes or no, go on to the next item, so on and so forth. And yes, there is some discussion in between, but it's always about those agendas and not what we truly see as far as like what we want to happen here and what needs to happen here in this community. So I think the normal agenda in a way takes us away from things that we should be looking at.
Right.
And so I think that we all had a good session, I think, when we talked about all this stuff.
So far, I've enjoyed them. I've really appreciated your guys' insight and your guys' input as we've been doing that together. One of the things that I wanted to propose, and I'll make a motion for this, was I've recently met with Kathy O'Connor, who's a consultant out of Oklahoma City. She served as the assistant city manager for the city of Oklahoma for 10 years. She served in a number of different roles in municipal authority down there. She has a lot of experience, and I would really like to pursue her to help facilitate our strategic planning moving forward throughout this year. Her services do come at a cost, but what I wanted to propose is that we apply for a grant through the Malzahn family and have that grant go to cover her costs so that she can work with us, provide a lot of oversight in our strategic planning, and really help us develop that moving forward and help us implement the resources that she's used in the past and learn a lot about what we could do and where we can reach out. It just helps expand our network as a council and as city administration. I think she could really help with that. And so my motion is that pending the Malzahn grant, that we pursue Kathy O'Connor as a facilitator and take her consultant services.
Second.
Okay. Roll call, please. Oh, do you need?
Hold on, I'm typing still. Hold on.
Oh, no, you're good, you're good.
I got you now.
While she's getting ready, is there any other discussions or questions with that?
We still keeping the one we have scheduled, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and I believe the one we had scheduled is July 10th.
Is that right?
I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it was July 10th.
July 10th.
July 10th, yep.
Oh, you weren't here.
That's your next special meeting?
Uh-huh.
At what time and?
5:30, I think.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, 5:30.
Yep, about the same time. And then,
Here?
I think so. I think we
I don't think we have a
we
location.
can have it here, we can have it over at
Okay.
the Malzahn's building if it's, at the blacksmith shop if it's available as well.
Does that cost us anything
No.
to do that?
It is not.
I kind of like it over there, to kind of get up here.
Right, kind of mix it up a little bit.
Right.
Okay.
You just have to make certain
That's
dates
just my
available.
personal.
Yep, yeah, we just
That's
have
just my
to.
personal feeling.
Oh, yeah, we can meet there anytime we want. Talking to the Malzahn family, they're more than happy and encourage us to meet over there anytime we need. That building is there for the community, and they like it being used.
July 10th at 5:30.
Yep,
Oh.
and so I'll get you the place.
Heritage.
Heritage Center.
Heritage, thank you.
Right. If it's available, we'll meet over there. If it's not, then we'll meet here or somewhere, but we'll have that posted out to the community prior so that we meet those requirements. So the grant process for the Malzahns, you can apply for grants between July 1st and July 10th. And so I'll put that together with them and get that in and see if we can get that. But we have a motion and a second.
Do you have an estimate of how much that is gonna be? Did she?
I emailed it out to everybody, and so it depends what services we decide to take. But we'll go for the Malzahns to cover the whole cost. Everything. Roll call, please.
I'm ready.
All right, go ahead.
Cold Iron.
Yes.
Wrong button. Vaughn.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes, thank you.
Dee
All right. All right, item 24. New business. Anything to bring up? Nope. All right. Item 25.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. We have a second?
Second.
All right. Roll call, please.
Goldar.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes. Ready? You get a drink first. Okay. We call the regular meeting for the Perry Municipal Authority meeting on June 19th, 2023 to order. Roll call, please.
Goldar.
Here.
Bond.
Here.
Williams.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Coffee.
Here.
White.
Here.
Marshall.
Here.
Davis. Here. Wortham.
Here. All right, I declare quorum. Item number 1, consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Goldar.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes. Item 4, citizens desiring to be heard. As there's no one here, we will continue on. Item number 5, discussion of fiscal year 2023-2024 budget and consider approval of resolution number 2023-01 of the Board of Trustees of the Perry Municipal Authority adopting and approving its fiscal year 2023-2024 budget and appropriating the revenues for the stated purposes and as contained in the budgets. All right.
What type of wording do we need on this, considering
Same as you did.
I make the motion to adopt it as presented in the
Regular.
regular meeting?
Second.
Does that work? Does that work, Bryce?
You second.
Either, Sammy, either one, I don't care.
Just pick.
Anybody know?
That's right. All right. Roll call, please.
Goldar.
Yeah.
Bond.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes. Okay, item number 6, discussion and approval of budget amendments for the fiscal year ending 2023. We had a little bit of this discussion earlier.
Yes, we talked through the budget
Yeah.
amendments. The increase is related to the profit margin on electric sales.
Any discussion or questions? Amendments?
So that profit margin, does that include, that's for everybody? Motion to approve the budget amendments for 2023.
Second.
Take your pick on that one.
Just gonna have to bring a coin flip.
I know.
They can have it.
Roll call, please.
Goldar.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes.
It's usually whoever I heard first.
And so, we have item number 7, motion to adjourn.
Moved.
Second.
All right. Roll call, please.
Goldar.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes. Ready.
Okay.
Okay, we call the meeting to order, the regular meeting of the Perry Facilities Authority, June 19th, 2023. Roll call, please.
Goldar.
Here.
Bond.
Here.
Williams.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Coffee.
Here.
White.
Here.
Marshall.
Here.
Davis.
Here.
Wortham.
Here. Thank you. Number 1, consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I was fighting over the second. All right. Roll call, please.
Goldar.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes. All right.
Maybe we need one of those red buttons like they have.
Click the buzzer, see who gets it first. We'll see if we can fit it in the budget.
Let's work on shares first.
That's right. Our number one priority, a big red button for everybody.
Only council that has one of those.
All right, let's skip down to item number 5. Citizens desiring to be heard. So discussion of the fiscal year 2023-2024 budget, consider approval of resolution number 2023-01 of the Board of Trustees of the Perry Municipal Authority adopting and approving its fiscal year 2023-2024 budget and appropriating the revenues for the stated purposes as contained in the budgets. Do it
I
again.
do actually have a question
Oh,
before I do it
okay.
again. That hit me after I did it again last time. The waste, 2%. Was that's still there, right?
No, no utility rate increases,
Okay.
is the way that I understood.
Okay. So, all right. I didn't intend to remove the 2% because that's a pass-through.
Oh, well, when we built the budget, we only did 5.2. We did
Yeah.
not, so the trash was only going up 3%.
We can bring that back on July 3rd.
Yeah.
Okay.
If-
Yeah,
if-
I mean, that's a
along with
pass-through to
the-
me, so.
Along with the CPI change, two separate ordinances, if you'd like to see that.
Just thought it hit me, thought it'd be a good discussion.
Okay.
So if we can
Yeah.
bring that's good.
Absolutely.
So the way that I'm going to submit it to the state, because it has to be done, is with no rate increase.
Fair enough. Perfect. So I make a motion to adopt the budget as adopted in the regular meeting.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Goldar.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes. Item number 6, discussion and approval of budget amendments for fiscal year ending 2023.
There were no amendments for the facilities.
Do we have to
So we
approve
don't
it?
have to do anything?
There's nothing to
Nothing to
approve.
approve.
Nothing
Okay.
to approve on that.
All right.
Motion adjourned.
She's ready, all right.
Let's go.
Roll call, please.
Goldar.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes.